friends, we are in mid of discussing very popular novel The Guide by K Narayan. अभी तक हम देख चुके हैं स्टोरी के अंदर अबाउट द प्रोटैगनिस्ट राजू who started his career as a tourist guide, how he became popular on the railway station of Malgudi, how he was very effective in finding out the particular needs of the tourist. The story is not continued in a linear fashion. Rather, there are many flashbacks. So we come to know that Raju at present is touting the role of a Swami. Swami के role के अंदर वो हैं and in a temple near the village मंगल जहाँ पर वेलन नाम का एक जो पर्सन होता है उससे उनके साथ इनका एनकाउंटर होता है एंड बिफोर दैट इन दोनों के बीच में एज अ टूरिस्ट गाइड एंड एज अ स्पिरिचुअल गाइड इन दोनों के बीच की जो स्टोरी है राजू की वो बड़ी ही मजेदार है। हम आगे अभी धीरे धीरे देखेंगे उसको। और राजू जो है जेल से छूटकर आया है, मंदिर के अंदर रह रहा है, एक्सीडेंटली ही बिकम्स अ स्वामी। उसकी जो पॉपुलैरिटी है बीइंग अ स्वामी, दिस इज आल्सो सोरिंग, दिस इज आल्सो इंक्रीजिंग डे बाय डे। और साथ ही में हम पढ़ते हैं जो सेंट्रल एपिसोड है इस पूरे नॉवल का, राजू रोजी रिलेशनशिप, हाउ इट स्टार्टेड। रोजी हु इज अ मैरिड वुमन, शी इज मैरिड टू मार्को। Marco is quite senior to her in age, but he married only for taking care of his daily chores. और उसके हिसाब से Rosie is passionate about her dancing, but Marco is very we can say he's a bookish man and he's lost in his studies. और यहाँ पर मालगुड़ी जब आते हैं मार्को और रोजी, the main purpose behind this visit that Marco finds to explore मम्पी जो caves हैं वहां पर उनको उनके historical value की वजह से explore करना चाहता है। Rosie on the other hand, she is feeling the boredom of life. She feels that as if she is trapped, वो इस शादी के अंदर trap होकर रह रही है। And then a torrid affair begins between Raju and Rosie. Raju, by nature, he is quite, we can say he has this charisma, he has this charming persona. He tries to lure Rosie because he is so much enamored by her beauty, her dance. वो उसको स्नेक डांस पर परफॉर्म करते हुए देखता है। Then gradually Rosie also begin to drift towards राजू की तरफ झुकना शुरू करती है because she is totally dissatisfied with her matrimonial life। और क्योंकि मार्को is totally lost in his archaeological work, तो he is not aware of what is cooking behind him। अब हम दोस्तों इस स्टोरी को आगे बढ़ाते हैं सेकंड पार्ट के अंदर और देखते हैं कि किस तरह से प्रेजेंट के अंदर स्टोरी आती है एंड इट इज द सेंट्रल एपिसोड ऑफ दिस नॉवेल्स। मेन जो इवेंट है जिससे जो राजू का करियर है वो बिल्कुल एक नई डायरेक्शन ले लेता है वो यहाँ होता है। एंड इट सो हैपन्स कि जो मंगल विलेज है, for a long time there is no rains, for after it is almost a situation of drought and cattle are dying, हर तरफ एक worry है and villagers come and ask Raju what will happen। the Swami is unperturbed, वो बिल्कुल इस बात को लेकर चिंतित नहीं है। he is in his typical philosophical vein और वो उनको कहते हैं कि everything will happen according to the will of God। एक दिन वेलन राजू को लेकर जाते हैं एंड वेलन शोज राजू अ डेड बुफेलो लाइंग इन द कोर्स ऑफ द रिवर, क्योंकि उनको पीने को पानी नहीं मिल रहा है। देयर इज नो फॉडर, देयर इज नो सोइंग, नथिंग इज गोइंग ऑन। Raju is somewhat, shocked when he sees this buffalo, and still he tries to pump up some positivity among villagers by saying that everything will happen according to his plan. Now, what happens that because of this kind of, we can say, adverse situation, there is a tiff, there is a small quarrel between the villagers and the shopkeepers regarding some money. and there is also some fist fight, and Velan is injured in that. So Velan is not able to come and meet Raju. Raju is worried in the temple. He is waiting for his food, which has not arrived. No villager has also come to him. So he is thinking what has happened. Now वेलन का जो younger brother है, he is rather dim-witted, and he wandering through the fields come across the temple, and he tells the whole incident of this fight among villagers to Raju. Raju, when he thinks that okay, this is not good for him and not for the villagers also, in earnest, he tells this young, dim-witted young brother of Velan that tell villagers, I will not eat food. Okay, now there is some miscommunication, misunderstanding. When this young brother comes back and he finds everyone sitting together and they ask him, "Where did you go? कहाँ गए थे तुम लोग?" And he is now scared, and does not want to reveal he is with the Swami alone, or and he just utters, Swami will not eat, Swami will not eat. The villagers take this message in this form that until it rains, Swami will not eat. They all are full of awe for Swamis. उनके मन में श्रद्धा भर जाती है, and they very quickly find out, very quickly think that Raju is another form of Mahatma. Obviously, they mean to point out Mahatma Gandhi, because Mahatma was at that time famous for keeping fast for the betterment of nation. So all villagers, they decide that, oh, here we are involved in petty fights, and there our Swamijis are keeping fast, and he will not eat until it rains, and they all run towards the temple to meet and pay their respect and homage to the Swami. और जब Raju, when he sees them coming in flock, he thinks, okay, now everything has settled down. But what he finds that nobody has still bring any food or fruit, and everybody starts touching his feet. Or जो Raju है, he is slightly anxious and perturbed. What is happening now? What new thing has happened? And then Velan tells Swamiji, you are a great person, and you won't eat until it rains. And he is almost shell shocked, and he thinks, what has happened? How this has come around? When everybody has left and Velan alone has remained there, and Velan says, today, to show my solidarity with you, I will also keep fast with you. And Swami says to him, Raju उनको बोलते हैं कि please come and meet me in the evening. Velan भी चला जाता है, and he says that I want to remain alone for some time. और उसके बाद जो left over होते हैं पिछले कुछ दिन के foods के, Raju quickly eats them, and he feels that problem has now emerged. शाम को जब विलन वहां पर आता है, then Raju tells him, why do you think that I can do this kind of miracle? I'm not a holy man. And now villain is, thunderstruck. He can't believe his ears that Mahatma Swamiji is saying this. And then Raju decides to tell him his whole story, that how he is a very common man like them, even a petty thief, a forger, but Velan is not ready to listen. So once again, the story moves backward. There is once again a flashback, and we come to we come once again to the earlier part where there is a triangle between Marco, Rosie, and Raju. Okay, so Marco is totally, we can say, disconnected with Rosie. He is not aware what are the desires of Rosie, what she wants, and other things. Raju is totally, we can say, obsessed with Rosie, and he wants to spend as much time as possible with Rosie, and Rosie is also reciprocating this particular emotion to Raju. जो पहले राजू का एक बिजनेस हुआ करता था, this kind of that he was a popular tourist guide, now it is limited only to one family. He caters only to the needs and demands of Rosie. धीरे धीरे because Marco is so much lost in the works at caves कि जो रोजी है शी बिगिंस टू अवेक अर्ली एट 5 और वो डांस प्रैक्टिस स्टार्ट कर देती है. शी इज वेरी हैप्पी बिकॉज राजू ने उसको ये बात कही है बिकॉज एंड देन गफूर आल्सो बिगिन टू ऑब्जेक्ट दिस काइंड ऑफ गोइंग ऑन और गफूर बार बार राजू को वार्न करता है दैट यू शुड कीप योर सेल्फ अलूफ फ्रॉम देयर अफेयर बट राजू doesn't pay any heed to Gafur's advice. In fact, once they fight also on this particular matter, Raju also began to spend money on his grooming, his dresses, powders and scents, and the source of income is continuously diminishing. जो रेलवे शॉप है इट इज टोटली अनअटेंडेड. राजू वहां पर जाता नहीं है. सो द पोर्टर्स बॉय ही हैज स्टार्ट टू पॉकेट ऑल द प्रॉफिट और वहां पर भी उसकी फाइट होनी शुरू हो जाती है. Then he tells Rosie, Raju one day tells Rosie, "Ke you should talk with Marco about your dancing. You should not be afraid." Rosie says that he will not go, he is not going to approve, but still Raju insists और वो कहता है कि don't do this in front of me because it may not seem proper. So I will leave for my home for a day and then you can talk to Marco. उसके बाद आफ्टर अ डे और टू व्हेन ही रिटर्न्स बैक एंड गोज टू द मम्पी हिल हाउस वेयर दे आर लॉज्ड. वहां पर देखता है देयर इज नोबडी, इवन रोजी इज नॉट देयर. वहां का जो केयर टेकर है वो जोसेफ वो राजू को बताता है कि शी इज आल्सो डाउन द केव्स. राजू जब वहां केव्स में पहुंचता है ही फाइंड्स अ वेरी अलार्मिंग सिचुएशन. बोथ रोजी एंड मार्को दे आर ग्लम फेस, दे आर नॉट टॉकिंग to each other and Raju wants to inquire. दोनों से वो पूछता है what has happened, what happens, what has happened, but nobody replies. This hurts the ego of Raju. In fact, they just leave the place and Raju just came back behind them. और कुछ भी दोनों से जब रेस्पॉन्स नहीं मिलता है एंड मार्को गिव्स हिम द फाइनल पेमेंट, राजू अंडरस्टैंड्स दैट हिज सर्विसेज आर नो मोर रिक्वायर्ड. ही रिटर्न्स होम एंड ही थिंक्स दैट ही हैज बीन जिल्टेड बाय रोजी. उसको एक तरह से रोजी ने धोखा दिया है. फॉर 3 to 4 days or maybe 1 week, 2 week, there is no news of Marco and Rosie, and Raju is not able to come over this fact, and he feels quite lonely and quite desperate to meet Rosie. But there is no news. Then after almost when a month has passed, there is a knock at the door and Raju's mother tells him that there is a girl. And when Raju opens the door and meets the girl, to his surprise, she is Rosie. Raju enters her and introduces her to his mother और उनको बताता है that she is an educated girl which impresses his mother. And then Rosie tells Raju when they are alone that how she tries to persuade Marco about dancing but Marco rejected outrightly. Then there is a heated argument between them, and when Rosie pointed out that only Marco didn't like her dancing, Raju is a great admirer of her dancing, then Marco has first we can say hint of suspicion, and then he interrogated Rosie about her relationship with Raju. She was not able to hide it and she opened all the secrets, all their rendezvous, all their meetings. And Marco is obviously very much hurt, and he told Rosie categorically that you are no more my wife. And then one day he left for Madras. When she wanted to come with him in the railway compartment, he says very tightly that sorry, I have only one ticket. So Rosie says मेरा अब जाने का और कोई जगह नहीं है. Can you please give me a shelter? Raju is obviously both happy and somewhat perplexed. He knows that in that particular village community, it won't be easy to keep Rosie with them, but he is also happy that finally Rosie has come to live with him. वो अपनी मदर को थोड़ा बहुत एक्सक्यूज बोलता है कि शी इज हियर फॉर फ्यू डेज, एंड मदर इज आल्सो लुकिंग वेरी अनकंफर्टेबल विद दिस फैक्ट, बट राजू इंसिस्ट्स कि शी विल लिव विद देम। और उसके साथ ही जो पास पड़ोस है वहां पर बातें होनी शुरू हो जाती हैं। देर आर वेरी सम अगली सिचुएशंस बिटवीन Raju and his neighbors. Rosie is also feeling quite uncomfortable because people look at her with askance gaze. But still, Raju tells her that you need not to worry until I say you stay here. और वो वहाँ पर अपनी डांस प्रैक्टिस भी स्टार्ट कर देती है। राजू की मदर को लगातार लोगों की बातें सुननी पड़ती हैं। इवन जो रेलवे शॉप है वहाँ पर जो स्टेशन के ऊपर, देयर इज अ डिस्प्यूट अबाउट दैट शॉप आल्सो। राजू हैज अ फाइट विद दैट बॉय एंड द बॉय लॉजेस अ कंप्लेंट, एंड द स्टेशन मास्टर कैंसल्स राजू's registration with the station. This is a blow to Raju because this shop was settled by his father. When he comes back home, Raju's mother says that it is because of this women that all ills have fallen on us. Or once again, Raju says that no, no, there is no fault of Rosie. One day, Raju's maternal uncle, उसके मामा जी जो हैं, he comes from his village, and there is a showdown between him and Raju. He calls name to Rosie, and he calls that Rosie is a very ill-named woman. She belonged to a very low family of dancers. Raju can't bear these insults to Rosie, and he put his arms around Rosie. This is, the final shock, the final straw to Raju's mother. She starts weeping, and Raju's mamaji takes back the mother with him to their village. राजू की मदर साफ कह देती है कि until Rosie is there, I won't come back. लेकिन राजू कोई भी प्रोटेस्ट नहीं करता है, and she leaves. Now they both are there in the house. They can do what they want to do. There is no more, we can say, check, any more check. And Raju tells Rosie that you have to practice a lot for your dance so that you can perform publicly, which is basically her dream. And an opportunity arises when Albert Mission School, they have a cultural program. Raju meets them and informs them about the talent of Rosie. Obviously, there is a change in name. Raju ये बोलता है कि Rosie is quite an unconventional name for Indian public, और उसकी जगह he picks the name Nalini. And he says that Nalini will perform, and once please saw her performance, वहाँ से एल्बर्ट स्कूल से एक टीम आती है, and they witness Nalini's performance. They are awestruck by the beauty and splendor of her dance, and they decided, even they go for to this extent that they say all other cultural activities will be adjusted according to the dance performance. They also they also manages to give her orchestra and other things. So Rosie's first performance happens, and with this she is on her way to become a star. Very soon she become a public figure. Everywhere there is demand of Rosie on cultural and other occasions, and soon her popularity is soaring into the sky. Raju cannot gloat more, and he always shows himself as the caretaker, the whole soul manager of Rosie. Whoever wants to meet Rosie, have an appointment, have a program, they have to meet Raju. Rosie is also so much thankful to Raju for his contribution in her career. और वो हमेशा जब भी घर आती है, she tells Raju that even if I take 7 births, I won't be able to pay your debt. Raju is so much happy hearing all these things, and soon we have this kind of aura around Nalini that she becomes a public, we can say, performer of the highest fame. Soon Raju also begin to have friendship with the great ones of the town, of the great bankers, police superintendent, all the even I left one particular incident. There is a dispute of house going on. Raju has borrowed some money from a local state, and as he is not able to pay the debt, his house has been confiscated. So he has moved to new house. His mother has also returned to him. She also has shown her interest to come back, but Raju has ignored the letter. He has also employed a staff. Most of time he spent playing cards with his friends and making appointments for Nalini's performance. Nalini बीच बीच में ऐसा होता है, she is suddenly very gloomy, and when Raju wants to know the reason behind this gloominess, she just says that nothing, because she says that why do we want more and more performances? We have become like machines, always performing. And Raju says, don't you like dancing in public? This was your dream. And Rosie says, yes, okay, but I'm tired too much. I want to spend time with you. It was my basic dream. And Raju says, okay, this is the last tour, then we can have a week off or a month off. But it never happens. Always there are more and more assignments, more and more appointments, and her performances. Now, one day a book arrives, and the book is written by Marco. Raju is alarmed to see, because Marco has dedicated Raju, he has also given a dedication to Raju in the book. He hides the book. He is, he is anxious about this fact that if Rosie sees the name, the memories of Marco would once again ignited, and maybe she would feel uncomfortable. But it so happens that a newspaper publishes picture of Marco, because the book is somewhat very much spacious for history readers. And when Rosie sees the picture, she comes running down the stairs and tells Raju, "Oh Raju, do you know Marco has been able to publish the book, and I'm so happy." And then Raju tells, okay, I have the book. Well, Rosie is thunderstruck. Rosie says, why you have hidden the book? Raju is still not aware that she has got this information from the from manager of Raju Money, but he is able to talk over this incident. Now, once again, after a few days, when these things are going on, a letter arrives from Marco, and it states that Marco wants a divorce from Rosie, and there is a jewelry box which he wants to return. If Rosie wants to claim, she has to sign a particular paper. Raju once again puts it hidden from Rosie, because once again he thinks that if Rosie reads this letter, she will think that, oh, how magnanimous is the behavior of Marco. After some time thinking over it, he thinks that what's the harm if I put a forged sign of Rosie and have that jewelry box. And this is the error which changed once again the course of his life. He forges Rosie's signature. And while they were performing at a very illustrious place, the police superintendent came, because he is friend of Raju. He tells him that you have done it and you have done it wrong. And for this, Raju is arrested and put into jail for 2 days. Rosie is totally thunderstruck. She is not able to come over this shock that Raju has done this deed only for sake of the jewelry. When she comes and meets Raju in the jail, and she says it is all karma. And when Raju comes back, the case will be soon going on. He is informed that Rosie is not ready to perform anymore. Raju says that we need 10,000 rupees for a good lawyer. Rosie says, okay, I will perform only to earn these 10,000 rupees. वो perform करती है money की help से, and she hires the lawyer for Raju, and there is hearings of Raju, and Raju is given the sentence of 2 years. In the jail, Raju once again is a model prisoner. He takes care of gardens. He performs personal services of the police officers. And during these times, money comes to him and informs that how Rosie has gone back to Madras, how Rosie has rose to more fame at Madras. Raju realizes that it was the talent of Rosie, not his managerial skills, that has made her famous. And it is a very, you can say, crushing, or his ego is totally crushed by this fact. And finally, he comes back from the prison where the story starts. Now, the last chapter opens, and we see a very significant change. Days have passed. Earlier, Raju was very much, so worried about this fast thing, but soon he begins to feel inside it. Soon he begins to feel that for the first time in his life, he has been given some role in earnest, and he begins to fast earnestly. And soon the fasting Swami became a sensational news throughout the vicinity and locality, and all people came to visit him, to pay their homages. And even an American correspondent came to interview Raju, and he asks Raju, "Are you always a yogi?" And Raju, quite whimsically, quite philosophically, beautifully answers, more and less so. It's a beautiful answer because it shows that all human beings are yogis to an extent. Now it is almost 10 days. Raju's health is declining. He is on the verge of death, and then he says to Velan one day, "Velan, I want to go and do my worship at the river bank." He is taken to the river bank, and he closes his eyes. He look upwards towards the sky and says to Velan, these are the last line. "Velan, it's raining in the hills. I can feel it coming up under my feet, up my legs." And with these words, he sags down. Dear friends, the end of the novel is quite ambiguous. We are not given any idea, does Raju die really? Will it rain, or is it raining in the hills? But Narayan is very clear about one fact: the title guide. Earlier, Raju was a tourist guide. He was driven with the forces of earthial, material forces, driven by a love for fame and money. Then he becomes a guide of Rosie. Rosie as a dancer. He shows his managerial skills. He shows how he is able to tackle all type of people. Once again, it is driven by his personal aspirations. Then he becomes a model prisoner, and finally he becomes a Swami, a spiritual guide. So he plays different roles in the life. The one role which he plays without any selfish motive is that of Swami in the last part. And this one role he is able to perform as perfectly as he has performed the other roles. So we can hope that Narayan wants to say that in the earnest, because he has fasted, maybe his fast has brought rains. So this is the beautiful novel. The character of both Raju and Rosie, they are not, we can, what E.M. Forrester has told us, that there are two types of characters, simple and complex one, or plain or round ones. They are the round characters. They have arc of evolution. देखिए, जब हम character के arc of evolution की बात करते हैं, then we are trying to point out that their character is changed according to circumstances, according to the things that happen to them. So please go and read this novel whenever you find time, and this is a classic read. You will love it, and we will once again meet with some new chapters and new topics. Thank you, my dear.